the movement that I would say you and I are both part of, which I call broadly the energy humanist movement, has been very rhetorically successful in its growth in the last 10 years. And so by energy humanist, I mean people who are thinking about these energy issues, including their climate side effects, from a pro-human perspective, which includes what I call a full context perspective, looking carefully at the benefits and the side effects. And historically, the way of thinking about it has been what I call fossil fuel benefit denial, where you just look for negative side effects of fossil fuels. You also tend to exaggerate them for various reasons, including you ignore the huge benefit of fossil fuels in mastering climate. So if you're concerned about climate-related side effects, but you ignore the ability of fossil fuels to make it cool when it's hot and warm when it's cold, you're going to totally mispredict everything which has happened. So those of us who've been making these arguments saying, hey, let's look at the benefits and the side effects carefully from a pro-human perspective, they've never had an answer to us. And you've seen a lot of best-selling books like my first one and now my new one, So Moral Case for Fossil Fuels, Now Fossil Future, but also Michael Schellenberger's Apocalypse Never, Bjorn Lomborg's False Alarm, Steve Koonen's Unsettled. There's been this whole emerging way of thinking about it that really has been persuasive and growing. And the other side hasn't really had a response to it besides ad hominems and just in smears and straw manning our views. So that was already growing, but now there's this perfect moment where more and more people are open to it. And so I was fortunate that it took me so long to do Fossil Future that it came out with perfect timing in terms of this crisis. And I'm definitely seeing so many people being open to the message. So I do think there's a huge opportunity. And I would just stress again that those of us who have been vindicated really need to say that, because and we really need to implicate the other side. And we cannot count on anyone to do that job for us. So there's nobody like the Washington Post, New York Times, they have never come to me and said, hey, you know what? You've been right on so many things. I would like to know your opinion about the future. That still has yet to happen.
Yeah.
So I'm going to keep telling people, hey, I was right, but it's more important. This way of thinking is right.
Yeah.
This fossil fuel benefit denial has to lead to terrible consequences. We need full context thinking.